Obviously good news here for Tesla. Why is it so important for them to get this factory up and running and quickly?
So Tesla's ambition basically is to build vehicles where the customers are, right? And so Tesla produced 360,000 cars over the water from us in Fremont last year. But those cars, some of them were destined to go to China, some to the European Union, some to the US, some to other markets. They all have different regulatory requirements, different specs. And this is something that Elon Musk talked about on the last earnings call, that he said it's simply silly to build all the cars in Fremont and then ship them all over the world when they could be building them where the customers are. And potentially that brings cost savings, it boosts your margins, it makes them regulatory compliant in those areas. And so that is what their goal is. They have the Shanghai Gigafactory. That's their second biggest market now behind the US. But Europe's really growing. There was 70% revenue growth in China, but like 60% revenue growth in the Netherlands and in markets like Norway and Germany. So that's what they want to do. They want to streamline the production process and make it localized where the customers actually are.
And the goal is to produce, what, like 500,000 cars in this particular factory?
Right. So the aim for this year is 500,000, which seems like a big jump from 360,000
We'd expect no less
year.
from Elon Musk.
But the bigger picture is, right, that only 2% of global cars produced are electric. Or the other way of looking at it is that 98% of all the cars produced around the world still have combustion engines. So it's really hard to tell what Tesla's growth is because it already dominates a lot of the EV markets around the world. But that's their ambition for this year, 500,000. The question overhanging them is, like, how quickly can they build the German factory? Because they did the Shanghai Gigafactory in 10 months. It doesn't look like that would be as fast or as possible in Germany. And they're also, are dealing with the impact of coronavirus, just like every other automaker.
So let's talk about what's happening with the Shanghai factory, because obviously we have the coronavirus. We've seen that take a big impact on Apple. Leading up to that, U.S.-China trade tensions, which are still lingering. How successful has the China factory actually been for Tesla?
So they were just starting to produce in Shanghai when this all came about, just a few vehicles, right? And they were in the stage of ramping up. They resumed production on February the 10th. They were pretty open on the last earnings call that it would set them back by 1 to 1.5 weeks. There would be some impact on first quarter profitability. But we actually don't know what the impact is to their supply chain or actually how many vehicles they're producing. What we do know is that it's really stopped consumer in China's getting out there and visiting the sales floor for all automakers. It fell like something 92% in the first 2 weeks of February. So even if they have their production capabilities up and running in China, the question is whether there are any Chinese consumers actually out there buying Teslas, or whether Tesla's strategy of digital first, right, going to the website and ordering your car rather than going to Dia is paying off for them.